you feel it coming, troubles in the air.
New York City, the gorgeous backdrop for the 2017 Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals presented by Gatorade. We are midway through the quarterfinal round. Our next matchup featuring the 2-seed IMG Academy from Florida and the 7-seed Greensboro Day School from North Carolina. So far, chalk has ruled in this tournament. The 3-seed Montverde moving past Shadow Mountain. Findlay Prep from Nevada, a double-digit victory over Oak Hill Academy, the defending Dick's national champion. Ted Emmerich, Paul Biancardi, Tara Petrolino in just a moment. Our Gatorade Fuel Performance brought to you by Gatorade Fuel Bar. Trayvon Duval, the player to watch in this one.
Tremendous athlete in the open floor. Love the way he controls the game with his playmaking ability. A big-time layup maker. The #1 point guard in the nation, still undecided.
Duval coming off the McDonald's All-American game. Last night, played 20 minutes, put up 8 points and 3 assists. Now we take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by U.S. Marines. Duval, plenty of talent around him, including the 7th-ranked junior, class of 2018. That's Emmett Williams, wearing number 5 for IMG. Greensboro Day, led by J.P. Mormon, the senior, who is headed to Temple. Now to Tara Petrolino with IMG coach Vince Walden.
Coach, you told me your goal this season wasn't to go undefeated, but to get to Dick's Nationals. What is this moment like for you and your team?
It's a wonderful moment, and because we set a goal, set our sights, and we worked hard, and we're here. So I'm excited and thrilled for our team to have this opportunity.
Trayvon just came from the McDonald's All-American game. What will be key for him at the start of this one?
I think to do what he does, and that's to apply pressure on the defensive end and to create for us on the offensive end.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Tara, thank you. Vince Walden, such a charismatic presence. So is Duval on the court, but dealing with what P.J. Washington and Billy Preston had to deal with in the game just moments ago. Early wake-up call, early flight, and now on the court here this afternoon.
I just asked Trayvon Duval minutes ago, are you ready to go? Are you tired? He said, I don't get tired. I'm ready to play. That's a sign of a winner.
Ultra confident. Pierce Landry missing the 3 to start for Greensboro Day. Duval trying to set up Silvio De Sousa for the dunk. And now Duval a steal.
Now it's going to take a few minutes for his head to get into the game and his legs. But I'll tell you what, Trayvon Duval, highly competitive kid, loves to play. It's his passion that will have him ready for today. I mean, he has a true love for the game. He'll play 3-on-3, he'll play 1-on-1. He's just looking for games.
Duval knocking down a 3 to start. He's improved that stroke over the years, putting it on display to start here.
Yeah, he's polished up that three-point shot. It still needs a lot of work in ball screen action. Guys are going to go under on him to start his career next year, wherever he decides to go. So he's got to knock down that shot behind the screen.
Paul says he looks up to Kyrie Irving. That's his favorite player at the NBA level. J.P. Mormon, who is going to Temple with the foul. Fred Johnson, a legend in North Carolina. Just under 1,000 wins in 40 years at Greensboro Day. As he said, I started when I was 5 years old. 40 years at Greensboro Day. And fresh off their 9th state championship just a month ago.
Yeah, the most wins in the state of North Carolina. Coach Johnson was inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame in May. Considered the best coach in the state of North Carolina in high school basketball.
Leading Greensboro Day to Dick's Nationals for the first time since 2015. Lost to Montverde Academy in the quarterfinals that season. But as Johnson will tell you, have a much more talented team this year. ACC caliber talent. Duval all the way to the rim. Talk about Power 5 conference talent. The point guard with all 5 of IMG's points early.
I mean, this is a David versus Goliath matchup. No question about it. IMG has the star power. But Greensboro Day is the 7th seed. They've won a state championship in North Carolina. They believe they can get the upset.
Now IMG with a turnover.
Trayvon Duvall already has a three-point shot in the books. How about the drive? See, the body control reminds me of Kyrie Irving, and the explosiveness like Derrick Rose. He can get up and get over you and punch it on you, but when he gets into the paint and there's multiple defenders, he can find a way around you. Terrific layup maker.
I heard you and Jay Williams and Adam Green at the McDonald's All-American scrimmage earlier this week, and Jay Williams threw out the comparison. Baby Russell Westbrook. Yeah, that's nothing to live up to, but Duvall has some characteristics. I like the Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving comparisons. Just a good guy.
Well, I understand where he's coming from with the Russell Westbrook. Trayvon Duvall doesn't rebound like Westbrook. He does hand out assists and he does score at a high rate. They both have that alpha dog mentality. Russell Westbrook a little bit more at the same stage.
D'Souza going over the back for IMG, and that's his second personal here in the early going.
Well, D'Souza only plays one way. He plays hard and he plays intense. He's got to understand to play with some basketball IQ.
Players to watch, in addition to Duvall, Isaiah Stokes will come off the bench for IMG Academy. Stokes ranked 59th in the ESPN 100. He signed with Florida. And Greensboro Day, a couple of juniors that deserve attention. John Newman being one of them, a four-star prospect who has ACC offers.
This is a talented Greensboro team.
J.P. Mormon, the bucket and the foul. Good start for the Bengals.
J.P. Mormon right there coming into the screen for the Black. Headed to Temple to play for Fran Dunphy. He's all fired up.
It's a 6-0 run for Greensboro Day. Freddie Johnson says that Mormon has responded to the challenge as a senior. Picked up his game, the leading scorer and rebounder for this team.
J.P. Mormon is excited to play for Fran Dunphy. Praised him this morning in the lobby about how honest he was in the recruiting process and how excited he is to go to Temple.
Arseny Andrei from Russia, rainbow three doesn't go. Emmett Williams, an offensive rebound. Reload for Duvall and missed the three. Think of Fran Dunphy's success with wings. Mormon again putting the moves on, just could not lay it home. Recently, Quentin DeCozy, Khalif Wyatt, among others, who have been at the best in their conferences, whether it be the Atlantic 10 or the American Conference. 4 turnovers by IMG Academy already. IMG making its first appearance at Dick's Nationals. It's always been their goal, as you heard Vince Walden tell Tara right before tip. 26-1 coming in, Paul, and the only loss to Montverde Academy December 20th.
Well, they need to be ready for a half-court game because Greensboro Day, they're going to slice you and dice you with their offensive execution. They're going to play a stingy, tough, packed-in man-to-man. They're going to try to make IMG beat them over the top.
5th turnover for IMG. Here's John Newman. Mormon slicing in. And the baseline jumper goes for senior Solomon Smith. Timeout, IMG. 10 straight points by Greensboro Day.
J.P. Mormon, known as a scoring forward, draws the defense, kicks it out. Greensboro Day smelling the upset early.
The 2017 Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Gatorade, the proven sports fuel, and the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I work with people everywhere, on sea, on land, and in the air. Inspecting towers way up high, avoiding turbulence in the sky, personalizing treatments with DNA, and recommending who should play. A dress that thinks which crops to grow, tax prep to help keep payments low. You can find me on an oil rig. I answer questions, small and big. Hello, my name is Watson.
Ghost in the Shell delivers heart-pounding excitement. Scarlett Johansson is electrifying. This movie has it all.
I thought you said no trouble.
You'll get used to it.
Ghost in the Shell, rated PG-13.
Look at the Steinway House here in New York City. Steinway pianos. Hey, beautiful music here in Queens from Greensboro Day. First few minutes, this quarterfinal matchup at Dick's Nationals, an 11-5 lead over the 2-seed IMG. Glad you're with us here at Christ the King High School. Ted Emmerich and ESPN's National Director of Recruiting, Paul Biancardi. You mentioned it, David versus Goliath. David's got the slingshot ready to go.
Yeah, Goliath, though, has the star power. J.P. Mormon for Goliath. Greensboro Day, he has 7 of the 11 points. Greensboro Day is ready for this game. IMG better be ready.
IMG, the 2-seed. Freddie Johnson, the leader of the 7-seed. Greensboro Day coming off a 3A state championship in North Carolina. Their second in the last 3 years. 9th state championship overall. J.P. Mormon and Solomon Smith, the 2 seniors, have all 11 points for the Bengals. Let's bring in Tara Petrolino for more on Greensboro Day.
Well, they have really stressed their preparation for this tournament. It was no surprise that they got a harder schedule this year to get in, but now that they are in over the last month since their last test of games, they have really been scrimmaging very hard, Coach said. He said, we have brought in a bunch of 6'10 players to be prepared for the height here, and we feel battle-tested and ready to go in this one.
Sarah, thanks so much. It's one thing that Johnson worried about just a bit, the conditioning level of his team. Long break between the state championship February 25th and this quarterfinal game, something that every team has to deal with. But Johnson, forget about IMG just for a moment, he wanted to make sure that his team was ready to play.
And when you talk to assistant coach Jeff Smith, he talked about, look, they're so big, IMG, and long and athletic. We can't get to the rim and finish all the time. We're going to have to make some jump shots against IMG. And you see Solomon Smith and J.P. Mormon shooting from the outside early. They're going to get those open shots. They have to make those shots because finishing in the paint is going to be tough against IMG.
Keontae Johnson at the line after the foul, and he misses the first. Tonight on ESPN at 8 Eastern, the NIT championship game. It's TCU and Georgia Tech at Madison Square Garden. Then the 29th annual College Slam Dunk and 3-point championships from Phoenix. Both also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Johnson splits a pair for IMG. First player outside of Trayvon Duval to reach the box score. Johnson Jr. from Norfolk, Virginia, 4-star prospect. Pierce Landry with the baseline jumper for Greensboro Day. Landry, the son of Pierce Landry, played at North Carolina for the Final Four in the mid-90s. On that team with Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse, and others.
A solid senior, does his job, makes open shots. IMG's had some turnovers early in this game. They had 5 early ones. That's what got the Bengals this early lead.
Now, Pierce Landry, just like his dad, winning the prestigious Moorhead Kane Scholarship at North Carolina. So Landry is on his way to Chapel Hill, just like his father. Good shooter, role player for this team.
And you need that. Every team has their stars, has their role players, has their bench players. You know, it's not the team with the most talent that always wins these events. It's the team that plays most like a team in a one-game setting.
Here's Landry up top, giving it back to Mormon.
Mormon likes to play outside, can definitely score drive.
Mormon hounded, giving it up, back to Landry, 3-pointer way short. Johnson the rebound. Duval flicks it ahead to Emmett Williams, and Pierce Landry reaches in for the foul.
The only thing about Mormon playing at the top of the key, Ted, is that if he's going to be a facilitator, that's fine. But when the ball changes hands and he has to get back, he's not used to getting back like a point guard should. See IMG with the run out. This guy headed to the line. Emmett Williams, wow, this guy has energy written all over his forehead.
What has led Paul to his rise in the rankings in the ESPN 60 from 22 near the beginning of the season to now number 7 in his class?
Because when you look at the class of 218, nobody plays harder, nobody plays with more passion, nobody gets more done at his size than Emmett Williams. He's a beast on the glass, in the paint. Now his skill level needs to improve. As we can see, he missed the first 2 free throws. He doesn't really have moves inside. He defends, he rebounds, he blocks shots. These guys in the NBA making 50, 60, 70 million doing those 3 things.
Mormon too strong on the 3. Andre chases it down. And coming right in front of us. Paul, you were ready to take the charge. I was getting out of the way.
I was with you.
And we'll stay with IMG Academy. 26-1 on the year. This basketball program has been around since 2001. Of course, IMG starting as the Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy in the late 70s. Steadily, more and more sports have been added to their athletic program. Williams fouled on the turnaround.
They also have a new director of basketball in Brian Nash. Brian, a local product here from New York. Played at Bishop Ford High School. He's been a head coach at St. Francis College in New York. Longtime assistant. His dad, Ray, was the head coach at Bishop Ford. So IMG has some great leadership going on right now.
And Nash has said it. We want to be the next Oak Hill. We want to be the next Montverde Academy, an established name in high school basketball. He and Vince Walden, the head coach of this team, put the vision in front of this squad at the beginning of the season. Dick's Nationals, that's the goal. There's Walden right there. Such a presence for this team. 8th year as the head coach at IMG.
Was an assistant at Liberty in 2013 in the NCAA tournament. Good sign right there for Greensboro Day with that jump shot from the outside.
John Newman hitting the jumper. Offers from the likes of Cincinnati, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Clemson, and many others. 6 turnovers now for IMG. Mormon leading the break. Out to Newman. Dillard trying to follow it. He's fouled.
Well, that's the type of offense Freddie Johnson wants. Get into the paint, draw the defense, kick it out, make that open 15, 17-foot jump shot. Just to miss that time. Right on the glass. That's where you have to be on missed shots. Dillard right there.
I like how in the hotel yesterday you caught up with Will Dillard. He asked, who's the best defender for Greensboro Day? And Dillard told him, I am.
He was quick, wasn't he, with that answer?
There was no humility in that answer. And you know what? He doesn't have to be modest. He is a top-notch defender. 3-star prospect, Will Dillard.
His brother Reggie Dillard plays at Presbyterian in the Big South. This is a vivacious young man, great personality, excellent student, and he is a lockdown defender.
Well, he's got the assignment against Trayvon Duval, the #1 point guard in the senior class, just about all game long. Trying to fight through a screen, Dillard, and Duval hits the 3 over the top. So Duval with a couple of 3s in this first quarter. 40 seconds to go. 7-point lead for Greensboro Day School from North Carolina. Late in the shot clock, J.P. Mormon doubled and throwing it away.
Watch this jump shot by Trayvon Duval. Off the ball screen, handoff. Defender goes under Dillard. Duval pulls it with confidence, knocks it down. That's the shot he has to make to be a high-level point guard at the collegiate level. Because when you get to college, Ted, the scouting report defense is so detailed that if you can't shoot, teams are going to go under, they're going to back up, they're going to pack it in against you and dare you to shoot it.
Duval is the only one to hit a field goal for IMG so far. There have been free throws by others, but Duval has been the offense. 6 seconds. Duval wraparound feed. And last touch by Greensboro Day. 4.3 to go in the period. Freddie Johnson has to love how the game plan has been executed so far in this first quarter.
He's a master on the sidelines. Understands to control tempo. Knows how to take the strength away of the opponent, plays to his team, and how they execute, identify with each other. Every time that guy talks, Freddie Johnson, I learned something about the game.
Duval has an issue that needs attention. Heading to the end of the bench, might be blood on his arm, and that's what it is. So the trainer will seal him up. You know, duct tape works in no matter what the problem is, Paul. I hope you've learned that over the years.
That's like a mini timeout right now for IMG.
Forget about rubbing dirt on it. Just duct tape it. You're fine. A little athletic tape for Trayvon Duval, who hustles right back to inbound. 4.3 to go. Keontae Johnson for three.
Good look.
So Greensboro Day School, the 7th seed here at Dix Nationals, opening with a 7-point lead at the end of one. 6 turnovers hurting IMG in that first quarter.
Nothing is going on here.
Yeah, except excellence.
My reign has just begun.
Oh, God.
And now, this.
Now that's a killer app.
Friday night on ESPN2, the women's Final Four from Dallas. First up at 7:30 Eastern, Stanford and South Carolina. Then the 4-time defending national champions, the Connecticut Huskies, matching up with Mississippi State. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Here at Christ the King High School in Queens, IMG Academy and Greensboro Day School quarterfinal round of Dix Nationals. IMG ranked 4th in the country by USA Today, but down 7 going to the second quarter. And Tara Petrolino was in the Ascenders huddle just moments ago. Tara?
A lot of positivity for his team. He's like, we got the butterflies out and it feels good. Keep enjoying this moment. He said offensively, we've got to use both sides of the floor on offense. Get in the seams and keep making cuts, but we need 2 good possessions. That's not the start they were hoping for.
Yeah, this is what they were hoping for either. Offensive foul on Trayvon Duval, 11 seconds into the quarter.
Well, you can talk about passing and cutting and catching all you want, but it's the defense of Greensboro Day. They play such terrific positional defense. They're in the spot before you have the ball. The help side defense is there and alert. If you try to drive it into a crowd, they're gonna swarm you down, shrink the floor. They're not going to block your shot, but they're going to force you into turnovers because of their position.
So Duval, the #1 point guard in this senior class, now has 2 personal fouls. Stays on the floor for IMG. But the points off turnovers, IMG 6 giveaways leading to 10 points for the Bengals.
We had the same issue in the previous game with P.J. Washington. He picked up 2 early fouls. His father, Paul Washington, kept him in the game. He picked up his 3rd in the first half. Paul Washington kept him in the game. He certainly knows what he's doing. They won big against Oak Hill.
Emmett Williams just snatched it from John Newman. Forget about a blocked shot, just took it away. Johnson driving the baseline. And IMG has to reset, 12 to shoot. This is DeAndre Osigwe. Missed everything on the 3. Charles Dillon Berra with the rebound. That shot clock didn't reset. Duval now realizes it. A deep 3-pointer is off the mark and out to Greensboro Day.
The first jump shot didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock does not reset unless the ball hits the rim. Good basketball IQ by Trayvon Duval. Just to hoist one up there.
Duval has made official visits to all 5 of his final schools: Arizona, Duke, Kansas, Baylor, and Seton Hall. What do you think?
He's been there, done it, seen it. Great steal by Duval.
Emmett Williams gives it back to Duval, who scoops it home. Duval has 10 of his team's 12 points.
That's what IMG wants. They have so much star power. They want to go up and down. They want a fast pace, no whistles, take it out and go, trap you, speed you up, and let's see who wins.
Newman with a putback for Greensboro Day. Back to a 7-point lead.
This is what Greensboro Day wants, a half-court game, half-court defense. See, great position right there for the steal.
8 turnovers now. Greensboro Day, though, gives it right back after the Solomon Smith steal. Newman comes up with it, and he throws it away.
Great hustle by Newman. Just love his length. 6'4", left-handed. He's got the ACC, the AAC, Colonial, Conference USA all knocking on his door early as a junior.
He and J.P. Mormon, the senior, Newman's a junior, they split the Conference Player of the Year award in their league in North Carolina. So good they were, instrumental in Greensboro Day winning 33 games this season.
See that defense by the black shirts just packed in. They're going to dare IMG to beat him over the top.
Ball, long 2, no. Will Dillard passing to Mormon. Mormon backing him down. Dillard going reverse side, a little wild. Here's IMG in transition. Count another turnover. Offensive foul. Fabian Real.
Greensboro Day with a great offensive possession. I mean, Dillard got a beautiful look. He just went to the other side of the basket. But what they do so well, because they're so well coached, they miss a layup, they get back on defense. The offense doesn't affect the defense. What do? They step in, they take the charge, add another turnover to IMG. That's how you pull off an upset. You play both ends of the floor. You limit your mistakes.
How do you settle down if you're IMG Academy right now?
Well, you just got to read that. When the defense is backing up or standing there, you have to pull up or give it up. You just can't go through a guy. If you want to go over him, that's fine, or go around him, but you can't go through him.
Our third quarterfinal today, the top seed La Lumiere against 8 seed Wasatch Academy coming up after this one.
These guys have had 30 days, right, since the announcement of the teams and the brackets to scout each other, to learn about each other. Now, they've never played each other, but they do know the tendencies of each team. And you have to know when you play against a Freddie Johnson team. They're going to be there when you drive, and they're going to step in and take a charge.
It's funny hearing Freddie Johnson last week, along with his assistant coach, Jeff Smith, longtime member of his staff there at Greensboro Day. Talk about all the nuances of IMG. They seem to have this team pretty well read, studying the film over the last month.
There's Coach Jeff Smith scratching his head right now, trying to figure out how do we keep this lead against IMG.
Will Dillard at the line for Greensboro Day. He's got 4 points with Jeff Smith. Big part of Greensboro Day's success over the years under Freddie Johnson. Lob ahead to Williams. J.P. Mormon takes it. 10 turnovers by IMG, but Greensboro Day couldn't cash in this time, a walk. They've got 6 turnovers.
Yeah, when IMG gives it to you, you've got to take advantage. If you can't get a layup against a team like this, I think you've got to pull it out, make them play defense versus going for the quick score against, defense that's kind of set. Don't rush it. If you don't have it, pull it out and put them on defense.
All right, what do you look for in the half-court offense now from IMG?
Well, Emmett Williams has to get some touches. There he is right there, 5 at the top. Obviously, Trayvon Duval, 1 in the white, is the main man.
Andre trying to split the defense, and he draws a foul. The senior from Moscow, part of the Russian under-18 national team.
IMG, they don't run a lot of plays for Emmett Williams, but he gets a lot of his points on some post-ups, but he does a great job of getting the ball off the glass.
Andre missing that one. Called a staple of this program by head coach Vince Walden. We look at Emmett Williams, the junior from Lehigh Acres, Florida. Williams talks about how he loves the preparation that he gets at IMG Academy, from the education to the work on the court. He says he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning every day. Regimented schedule on the court, weights, study hall, all of that. It says he feels like he's already in college.
And it's a collegiate type atmosphere at IMG. They've invested a lot into their coaches, facilities. They play a national schedule now under Brian Nash.
Ball looking inside. Emmett Williams couldn't hit off the window.
They need to go to that a little bit more. Williams can deliver inside in the post. That was deep.
Greensboro Day and Freddie Johnson calling a timeout. The Bengals with a 9-point lead over the number 2 seed here at Dick's Nationals.
There's a time in life when you've lived just enough to have a past. But a world of firsts lies ahead. Your first real job, first apartment, and a whole lot of other firsts.
Hi.
It's all in front of you, so raise a shock top and cheers to what's ahead. Shock top. Cheers to what's ahead.
Yes, we will. Matt and Tim, thanks so much. In fact, R.J. Barrett and Montverde will play the winner of this game. Greensboro Day from North Carolina, a 9-point lead over IMG Academy. Time to break down the defense from Greensboro Day so far.
Well, they're doing it with their positional defense. How about the double team, the rotate down, steal on the alley-oop, stepping in, taking charges. This team is connected as a unit defensively, and it's because of that man right there, Freddie Johnson, the winningest coach in the state of North Carolina basketball.
991 victories. He says he's never had the urge to be a college coach, even though he's had the offers over the years. He remembers a camp at Davidson years ago. Rick Barnes was his roommate. Johnson says, though, I always enjoyed coaching high school kids. That's why I never left.
Some guys just love staying at the high school level because you can really make an impact and a difference with the high school player, so much more sometimes than the college player.
Double clutch at the end of the shot clock by Jordan Perkins, and Greensboro Day gets it back.
You see now they get it out, they move it around. You want to move the defense side to side, try to get that open shot. There it is.
By Solomon Smith, a double-digit lead, the largest of the day for Greensboro Day School. Trayvon Duval, 4th-ranked player in the class of 2017. Greensboro Day has turned him into a jump shooter so far. Newman missed it. Osigwe with the rebound. That's exactly what Freddie Johnson said. Wants Duval taking that outside shot, not driving.
And then they got to clean up the glass, but they had a 3-on-2 that time, the Bengals, and they took a little jump shot in the lane. Not bad, but 3-on-2, you want to get that layup.
Keontae Johnson wide open. Couldn't connect.
Emmett Williams on the glass. Here you go, right to the rim.
Oh, Newman, pretty move to the rack. Timeout, IMG. 8-0 run by Greensboro Day School.
Well, IMG right now is one and done on the offensive end. And the Bengals push it. Nobody back. Nobody in position. Newman, good athlete, 6'4", junior. Easy finish.
Well, tonight at 6 o'clock on ESPN, check out the 6. Michael Smith and Jamel Hill, More Than Just Sports. Every weeknight, 6 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. What is Vince Walden telling his team in this huddle right now?
I think you want to get into the paint, and you don't want to charge. So if you get in and the defense is there, kick it out or drop it down. Don't just try to bulldoze your way in. Or get Emmett Williams on a post-up understand you're going to get doubled. Emmett Williams, kick it opposite, drive to closeout.
IMG has been sloppy to say the least in this first half.
If you don't screen, you don't cut, you don't move the ball, you're not going to move this defense. And this defense is airtight right now.
DeAndre Osigwe left it short on the 3. Here comes Jordan Perkins, 2-on-2. Perkins, the layup just crawled off the rim, but 2 free throws upcoming.
Good defense again, good position. Perkins with the push. He waits for the defenders to kind of slow down a little bit. He split the 2. Nice job by Jordan Perkins.
Who is going to North Carolina Central. The Eagles just made the NCAA tournament for the second time in 4 years out of the MEAC. Something that Will Wade, former head coach at VCU, now at LSU, told Perkins as well as Freddie Johnson recently, hey, North Carolina Central is getting a steal. You could play in a bigger conference than the MEAC.
Tell you what, he's going to get a great opportunity, though, in the MEAC. I think he's going to be an instant impact. So that's what you got to do. Look opposite against that double team. Here it comes again. They're just rotating before the ball gets there. You can't just pass the ball because you think somebody's open. You got to know they're open.
10 to shoot. Repost for Williams. Splitting the double team. And there's Williams off the glass.
That's the alternative. Attack the double quickly, split it, and don't look back.
So Emmett Williams with the first field goal by IMG other than Trayvon Duval. That's how poor offensively IMG has been. Landry missed the 3. Williams falls down the rebound. Let's check in with Tara Petrolino. Trayvon Duval with a layup at one end, J.P. Mormon at the other.
Nice floater.
Osigwe drops it in to cut it to 11. Now the shot clock turned on.
Yeah, you're going to see Greensboro Day right now. Just hold it. IMG probably trap. See if they can force a quick shot.
Mormon trying to finish over Williams, and Williams is called for the foul.
Good result that time by J.P. Mormon, but I know Freddie Johnson well, and I think he wanted him to hold that for the last shot. Right now, you're up 11. You want to go up 11 or more. If you shoot that early miss, IMG is going to come down and cash in.
That's now 2 personals on Emmett Williams.
Like I said, the result turned out well. Yeah. But you really got to know how to manage the end of the half. Now when you're playing the college game, never let a team shoot last when you have the ball.
2-time All-State pick, J.P. Mormon. Makes it a 13-point lead for Freddie Johnson's team. Where do you go with your IMG if they're holding for the final shot here?
Put the ball right there in the hands of Trayvon Duval, the #1 point guard in the country. I'd go 4 flat on the baseline, let him take his man. They're just packed in anyway. They have 1 foul to give Greensboro Day.
5 seconds. Duval penetrating. And he flips it in. Trayvon Duval with 14 of his team's 20 points. But Greensboro Day has ruled this first half, taking advantage of IMG miscues, and it's an 11-point lead at the break.
Trayvon Duval coming off the McDonald's All-American game. He knows his team can play better. He's got 14 in the first half. They got to regroup at halftime.
J.P. Mormon with 11 points for Greensboro Day. IMG coach Vince Walden. Tara Petrolino.
Coach, before today's game, you talked about your preparation for this matchup.
Right.
How do you feel your squad responded in those first 2
quarters? We've done a really good job. We got to do a better job when we break their press. We got to attack quicker and have more 3-on-1 and finish around the basket, which we didn't do in the first half. So,
what's the message to your team right now?
We got to keep rebounding. We got to keep them off the boards. They got to the basket late a couple of times, which really hurt us.
How do you think they've done on Duval so far?
I think we've done a good job. I mean, he's a very, very good player. He's going to get his points. You just get to make them difficult for him.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, nobody has more than 3 points for IMG other than Duval, who leads the way with 14. What a half by the number 7 seed here at Christ the King High School. Dix Nationals quarterfinals. Greensboro Day up 11. Here in New York City, you're watching the 2017 Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals, presented by Gatorade. Third of 4 quarterfinals here in the Big Apple. And the 7 seed off to a great start. Greensboro Day from North Carolina up 11 on the 2 seed IMG Academy. And we welcome you inside Christ the King High School. Ted Emmerich and ESPN's National Director of Recruiting, Paul Biancardi. What's impressed you the most about Greensboro Day so far?
Well, it has to be their defense, and it's not with their great athleticism or shot blockers or speed, but the ability to play great positional defense, double team the post, be in the position to get steal. They have 6 steals. They forced 10 turnovers. They have 12 points from the 10 turnovers against IMG. And look at the rotations, the anticipation. They're converting from the defense. They're stepping in, taking charges. This is a team that's connected as a unit, and right now they're winning this game with their defense. We said it was David versus Goliath. Well, David's playing pretty well right now.
We'll take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Geico. IMG Academy shooting 40% as a team. 2 of 8 at the foul line. They were 2 for 11 from the three-point line on top of the 10 turnovers, and Greensboro Day has cashed in. Well, how does IMG bounce back? Tara Petrolino, I believe you talked with Vince Walden during the break.
Well, Coach just told me what he likes about this situation is that they've been here before. He said when we lost in the City of Palms to Montverde, that showed our team grit. And then when we were down by 13 to the Patrick School out of New Jersey and end up winning by 5, well, we knew that we could do it then, and we know we could do it now. He said the biggest adjustments, though, will be recommitting to the defensive end and getting better shot selection.
Tara, thank you. In fact, after that loss to Montverde in December, Walden read his team a poem by Rudyard Kipling. One of your favorites, right? Jungle Book, Paul?
Love that one.
Called If. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those imposters the same, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. Did you ever read your team poetry to inspire them?
No, never.
No?
But I'll tell you about the word if. It's the biggest 2-letter word in the English dictionary.
Pretty big in recruiting as well, I'm sure.
It's really big when you talk about, upside and potential. If this, if that. There's a time if has to go into doing it.
Of course, the bottom line, just keep on that even keel. And IMG was able to respond from the loss to Montverde with a victory over the Patrick School, the top 15 team in the country from New Jersey. That was at the City of Palms tournament.
Another steal right there for Greensboro Day. Can they cash in? That's 7 steals right now.
Will Dillard missing the 3, but running down the offensive board was Solomon Smith. That was not deflected, so over and back, a turnover by Greensboro Day.
Yeah, they had possession the whole time, so when the ball goes in the backcourt, it was considered a backcourt violation.
So Trayvon Duval inbound for IMG at 14 points in the first half. His teammates have to get rolled.
No question. His teammates have to help him out. And he can't do it himself, but he's going to try at times.
Jordan Perkins called for the reach, looking for another steal. That's the second personal on Greensboro Day's point guard.
Now watching Trayvon Duval, one in the white over the years, he's going to pick his spots right now. He knows the fourth quarter, he still has time to try to take over the game. He's going to try to include his teammates as much as possible.
Silvio De Sousa did not take a shot in the first half, attacking this time and drawing the foul.
He's the biggest, strongest guy on the court. You just look at him. 22 in the white, broad shoulders, strong arms, incredible hands to catch the ball and finish. Number 20 in the ESPN 60. He's got all the physical tools. He's physically imposing, but he has to develop a skill and a feel for the game. You just can't blow over people bully through people all the time. I think he's learning that in IMG. He's definitely working at it, I know that.
With Montverde last year, a member of the Dix All-Tournament team, had 25 points in 2 games, playing just 23 minutes. Was awfully efficient.
And they don't run a play for him in IMG, so he can really do a good job to help his team getting the ball off the glass, maybe blocking some shots at the rim.
Perkins, his shot blocked by Emmett Williams. Here comes Duvall, trying to roll it ahead to Keontae Johnson. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with IMG.
That time it was D'Souza and Emmett Williams going after the layup. Emmett Williams got some fast twitch fibers right there, number 5 in the white.
He's got some bounce.
Oh, gets up and down quickly.
Osigwe rising up for 3, and he connects.
Nothing like a 3-point shot. Get the pep in your step defensively.
You can tell IMG needed something like that. They've been down by as many as 15 in this one. And now a turnover by Greensboro Day School.
That time Trayvon Duvall waved off Emmett Williams for the jump shot. And when you make a 3-point shot, that really picks up the energy of your defense. That time on the other end, Greensboro Day tried to go inside. Not going to happen against IMG.
That prompted a timeout by Freddie Johnson. Well, tonight on ESPN at 8 Eastern, the NIT Championship. That's at Madison Square Garden, just across the river here. Georgia Tech and TCU facing off. Then the 29th annual College Slam Dunk and 3-point championships from Phoenix. Both also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Georgia Tech has made scholarship offers to a couple of players in this game, including John Newman, the junior for Greensboro Day.
Well, Georgia Tech has an outstanding prospect coming in next year, right here from Christ the King High School. Jose Alvarado, point guard, plays for Joe Abertella. He's going to be a big part of Georgia Tech in the future.
Taking a closer look at IMG Academy, started in the late 70s as the Nick Politeri Tennis Academy. Steadily built, adding sport after sport. Now a true college prep program. And they have become a basketball power in the last few years. First ever trip to Dix Nationals. Here's Duvall, the number 1 point guard in this class. Greensboro Day could not secure it. Back to IMG.
I like the patience that time, IMG. They moved it around. They threw it in the post. D'Souza recognized. Threw it to Duvall. Good drive on the closeout. Got sloppy at the end.
Vince Walden has 4 players ranked by ESPN on this team. They have knocked off 9 state champions this year. Greensboro Day would be the 10th. Trailing for a good part of this game. Johnson dribbling it off the foot. John Newman will stay with IMG 16 to shoot. If you're IMG, you're looking for more looks inside. Use the size advantage that you have. We haven't seen much of that so far.
And if you go inside and you miss, you're right there for the offensive putback. The advantage for IMG is definitely in the paint. Even though they have Trayvon Duvall, he gets into the paint with his drive, just like that.
Johnson missing the layup, but he followed it up. A 7-0 run for IMG to start this second half. Mormon up top, moving past Williams. Couldn't scoop it in. Johnson hauls in the rebound. Osigwe the lob to Silvio D'Souza.
Freddie Johnson needs a timeout right now. The momentum has changed. The defense of IMG been terrific to start the second half.
9 unanswered to begin this third quarter. Solomon Smith, no. Duvall the rebound. The outlet to Johnson. And we're tied at 31. There's your timeout. Greensboro Day is reeling. IMG Academy has awakened.
They've tied this game up, being down double figures in the first half with their defense. How about the push ahead by Duval? And in the open court, they go upstairs to D'Souza. Those are runouts from the defense, throw aheads. This is the game IMG wants to play. What a catch and finish by D'Souza. That looks easy, but it's really hard to do.
An 11-0 run to start the third quarter. So IMG Academy has made 4 of their 5 shots in the second half. Bridge it to the first half. IMG started this game 5 for 17. They've made 7 of their last 8 shots overall. All right, how does Greensboro Day settle the waters now?
It's going to be with their offense. They have to grind out their offense. They're going to have to screen, cut, try to get a layup or an open jump shot. They're going to have to work to get an open shot. It's not going to come easy against this IMG defense.
Perkins, the point guard. Mike Fowler, the sophomore. Nice range on his jumper, shooting over D'Souza.
And that execution gets an open shot. You set your defense. You slow this pace down.
Fowler is garnering interest from the likes of Wake Forest and East Carolina as a 10th grader.
You see Greensboro Day just playing a packed-in man-to-man defense. Everybody with a foot in the paint.
Duval could hit the 3. Perkins the rebound. Perkins dropping it off for Fowler. Wanted to give it back. And Duval will be called for the push against Perkins. That's his 3rd personal. So a 2-point lead for Greensboro Day, and IMG star in a little foul trouble here in New York City. Quarterfinal round of Dick's Nationals.
Friday on FS1, it's Toronto versus Sporting KC. Then Seattle versus Atlanta. Then Sunday on ESPN2, it's Portland versus New England.
The Cubs have won the World Series. A moment that many thought might never happen. For the first time in 108 years, the Chicago Cubs are World Series champions.
Quarterfinals of Dick Nationals here at Christ the King High School in Queens. IMG Academy closing what was an 11-point halftime deficit. Greensboro Day up 2 now. You're middle of the third quarter, and we welcome you again courtside. Tad Emmerich, Paul Biancardi, and Adam Finkelstein from ESPN.com. Yes, he's here again. He's back. He's here all day. He's here all week for Dick's Nationals. What are your impressions of this game so far?
You know, I thought that, I mean, obviously IMG just couldn't score for a while, but their defense really kept them in the game, and they've gotten things going here, been able to get out in the open floor, and they stayed close because they defended even when their offense wasn't really connecting.
Trayvon Duval down to 5 schools, the #1 point guard in the ESPN 100. Adam, what do you know about this recruitment, which has been so hotly contested over the last several months?
You know, I think it's one of those things where you see the contenders there, and I don't know that anybody knows right now. He's got all the leverage in terms of he can really define his own timeline. He can make his pick. I think Duke obviously needs a point guard. Seton Hall is the one that I still think is a sleeper. They've been in there tight. I think selling a vision a lot like they did to Isaiah Whitehead a couple years ago, the opportunity to come right in, be a marquee player right off the bat, and of course he would have some veterans around him there at Seton Hall next year, so I wouldn't rule them out.
It seems like the buzz, though, for Trayvon Duval is Duke and Arizona. They seem like they're the 2-horse race with those 5 schools.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think those 2 are the favorites, and 100% right. I neglected to say Arizona. They've been coming on strong, but those are the 2 that are considered the favorites. And I think Seton Hall, if I had to pick a dark horse, it would be them.
Osigwe fouled on his way to the bucket. And the thing about Duval, he's talked about it. He's waiting, much like several uncommitted prospects in the top 10 of the ESPN 100, waiting for how things are going to shake out, which players will turn pro. It's not uncommon now to make that decision in April, or as we saw in the case of Jared Allen last year, in June before he decided going to Texas.
Yeah, you know, the thing that's interesting about Duval, we talked earlier about the guys who had come back, reopened their recruitment. Well, a month ago, Trayvon Duval was really the only immediate impact point guard left on the board, and there were a lot of suitors out there. Now you've got some of these other guys, Vermont Waters, Blake Harris, who are now back on the board, and so it'll be interesting to see, while he's still the best of the bunch, undeniably, if that speeds up his timetable at all.
Greensboro Day with a 1-point lead here. How would you compare Duval, and both you and Paul can take a crack at this, comparing Duval to the stellar point guards from the class from last year, those that were freshmen in the college game this year, the likes of Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz, Dennis Smith, De'Aaron Fox, among others?
You know, I think the most obvious comparison from last year's class is Dennis Smith. They're both really explosive, really powerful, attacking guards, and so Trayvon Duval's impact at the college level, to me, will be a lot like, stylistically, what Dennis Smith was. I think relative to that group, that was a special, special group. And Duval's a special player, but, you know, in that group, he's probably 4 or 5 to me. But what do you think?
No, I agree. I think he's a special player, but those guys are unique to the game. They're all big point guards. We see how well-versed they are offensively. They all have their individual style to them, but you're right. He most resembles Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith, I believe, guys, had 2 triple-doubles this year. So, and with that group, if I had a pick, I'd say he'd be 4th or 5th in that group. So that shows you how strong this NBA draft is going to be at the point guard position, because those guys are going into the draft if they haven't all already. I know Ball has and Dennis Smith did.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, to put it in perspective, when's the last time you saw 2 point guards go 1 and 2 in the draft? And in all likelihood, that's at least what it sounds like it might be right now. Certainly have a chance with Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball, widely projected to be in the top handful of picks.
Will Dillard with the floater for Greensboro Day. Now a 6-point lead for the Bengals. And Dillard reaches in on Duval, trying to keep up with the top point guard. Duval was putting the moves on.
Well, Duval likes to break your ankles. He likes to go through you, but he can also change speed and directions. The bump by Dillard doesn't faze Duval at all. He's very strong at 6'3", very explosive.
Physically, he's the total package.
Oh, he's the real deal.
He can blow right by you, but as you said, he can absorb that contact too. And in my mind, that's the most important thing when you're talking about a playmaking, driving point guard, being able to translate what he does at the high school level to the college level.
Under 45 seconds, Perkins wants his second three-pointer here late in the third. That's short. Rebound for Silvio De Sousa. IMG down by 4. 10-second difference, shot clock and game clock.
Good answer here by Greensboro there to kind of offset this IMG run.
And Duval is fouled. John Newman was trying to stay in front. That'll be his first.
Well, this is how Duval can impact the game. He creates fouls. He puts himself to the line. He puts the other team in jeopardy defensively. He's smart. He doesn't try to always go over you. And when he draws a crowd, he's quick to give it up.
He's got quite the cheering section here at Christ the King High School. Some of the students who are here with the white T-shirts, they're loving every moment Trayvon Duval on the floor.
It seems like that's given him some life, too. Obviously, long trip from Chicago last night in that McDonald's game, but he doesn't look tired right now.
Ball out to Dylan Barra. 7 seconds now. And Osigwe is bumped by Dillard, his second personal foul in the last minute.
What's going on right now is IMG is beating Greensboro Day off the bounce. So what happens, you got to rotate, you got to help. You close out, you bump into people.
Now that's 5 team fouls already, so it puts IMG in a situation where they're likely going to spend a lot of that fourth quarter in the bonus. Great place to be when you're trying to catch up on a little bit of a deficit.
A great place to be with this guy right here, Trayvon Duval.
Duval Not even close on the three. Final second ticks away. Perkins could not put it in the air. Greensboro Day led by as many as 15 in the first half. IMG a strong start in the third quarter. And we go to the fourth with the number 7 seed up by 4. Quarterfinals here at Dick's Nationals in New York City.
It's a Final Four showdown in Big D. Stanford savors its 13th trip. South Carolina gets another shot at history. Mississippi State makes a Final Four debut. And Connecticut marches towards a 5th straight title. The Women's Final Four, presented by Capital One, Friday at 7:30 and 9:30 on ESPN2.
Anthony Davis is one of the top blockers in the NBA, so he was a perfect fit for the IT department.
Block.
Anthony, it's just my blog.
Is your blog business related?
No.
There you go.
Can't stop me from using my phone.
Nothing gets past that guy.
I can still play solitaire.
No, you can't.
History always being made at Dick's Nationals quarterfinal round. The 7 seed Greensboro Day from North Carolina taking a 4-point lead to this fourth quarter over the 2 seed IMG. Ted Emmerich, Paul Biancardi, Tara Petrolino, our entire crew. Thanks to Adam Finkelstein for joining us moments ago. Why don't we take a look at the USA Today Sports Super 25 national ranking. So IMG is the number 2 seed in this tournament. The Ascenders, under coach Vince Walden, ranked 4th in the country overall. Nathan Hale from Seattle, Memphis East, coached by Penny Hardaway, unable to play in this tournament. La Lumiere, the number 1 seed, number 2 in the country.
La Lumiere is loaded with talent. Brian Bowen, Jaren Jackson on their way here from the McDonald's All-American game. They also have a ranked sophomore by the name of Tiger Campbell, played point guard for them. It's a loaded team that came within a second of winning a Dick's Nationals championship last year against Oak Hill.
The Hadeen side tip in at the buzzer. That has fueled La Lumiere all year. That disappointment. Greensboro Day by 4 in what has been a back and forth, and for the most part, a ragged game, chock full of turnovers. There's another one.
And right now, if you're IMG, you want to play a faster pace, even if you're going to turn it over, because you have to pick up the tempo of the game. You can tell IMG is most comfortable in an up-and-down affair. Greensboro Day, they want it slowed down, half-court game, like a chess match.
Winner of this one will meet the Montverde Academy Eagles in the semifinals tomorrow on ESPN2. Silvio De Sousa stepping out and hitting the jumper. He's got 6.
I'll tell you what, that's a sign of things to come if De Sousa can make that shot.
De Sousa, the former Montverde Eagle himself. He would love a chance to play his former team in the semis. J.P. Moorman off target. Johnson, the one-handed rebound.
Great rebound by Johnson.
Duvall, the lob to Williams, and J.P. Moorman with the interception.
And this is where Greensboro Day, see, they got to calm down and slow down. They work so hard to get it, and they give it back so easily.
11 turnovers for Greensboro Day.
Throwing it upstairs, great pick. Then the push. And now you have to understand you don't have numbers. You're not in an attacking situation. Center of the ball, run your offense.
IMG has turned it over 15 times themselves. Segway off from 3, and Perkins cashing in at the other end.
And nobody back for IMG. When that shot goes up, Duvall needs to get back as the point guard. Great pass.
Oh, a little too tall even for Silvio De Sousa. 16 turnovers now for IMG Academy. Taking a look at the bracket here at Dick's Nationals in New York. Findlay Prep and Montverde advancing earlier today. Montverde awaits the winner of this game. And our last quarterfinal, La Lumiere from LaPorte, Indiana, and Wasatch Academy from Mount Pleasant, Utah. We'll jump it up at 6 Eastern here on ESPNU.
I was impressed with Shadow Mount. They had a lead on Montverde, but we saw how powerful Montverde is. R.J. Barrett stepped up big time for Kevin Boyle. And how about for Finley Prep? McDonald's All-American P.J. Washington played well and led his team with 20 points.
And we are guaranteed a new Dix National Champion with Oak Hill getting knocked out. How about J.P. Mormon? Future Temple Owl, 11 points, 4 steals to lead Greensboro Day.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in this game on the outside. I'd like to see him get on the glass a little bit more. He's got 4 steals, 11 points. If he can assert himself inside, that's where Greensboro Day is a little weak against IMG. They need that help on the glass.
Will Dillard walks it up, matched up with Duval. Here is Mormon on the perimeter. Now Mormon. Solomon Smith offline from 3. Mormon working hard down low. That's what Williams was in front of him.
That's where he needs to be. That's what he needs to do. Has to finish that play. So close.
Duval going between the legs. He just couldn't finish.
Duval didn't score in the third quarter. He had 2 assists. This may be his time. 5 minutes to go. Advance or go home.
You know he's ready to take over.
There's no question about it. That young man just loves the challenge. He loves the moment.
Mormon driving in. D'Souza closing out late, and it leads to Will Dillard cleaning things up. How about the role players of Greensboro Day outside of Mormon, supporting him so well, giving the Bengals that balance they need. Andreev short on the 3, one of the role players for IMG, and he reaches in. Double whammy for the Ascenders, his second personal.
IMG tied up this game, corrected 33, I think, but they have never taken the lead in this game. Greensboro Day answered that run that IMG put on to start the second half. The way IMG came out to start the second half, you thought they were going to blow the doors off this game.
Now it was 31-20 at the break. Greensboro Day on top. IMG scored 11 in a row to tie the score at 31. Greensboro Day with the 6-point advantage now. Newman step back over Johnson. Offensive rebound by Dillard. Inside, Solomon Smith against Williams.
Just beautiful, beautiful ball movement by the Bengals. Threw it out, they reversed it, got a layup.
Little 6-0 burst for Greensboro Day. Duval missing the 3 short.
He can't settle, he's got to go rim.
He attacks, the foul is called, and that will put IMG in the bonus.
And IMG only has 2 team fouls. So they can be super aggressive, not have to worry about putting Greensboro Day to the free throw line. Every time Trayvon Duval goes to the rim, either scores, gets fouled, or finds an open teammate. Once in a while, he will charge, but great things happen when Duval goes to the rim.
Duval missing the front end of the 1-and-1 as Jordan Perkins collected his 3rd personal foul.
Yeah, nice job by J.P. Mormon right there to be strong with the ball, not let IMG strip it away.
That's now 4 personal fouls on Duval. Woody Johnson loving the effort of his team thus far, looking to pull the upset against the #1 point guard in the country and the 2 seed in this tournament. Duval takes a seat with 4:14 to go.
And that seat won't be long.
You don't think that he'll be out? But they can't afford it.
No. They're down 8 right now. And offensively, you can drive the ball against this team. Without Duval in the game, your defense can load up more against Emmett Williams and D'Souza.
Nice ball movement by Greensboro Day. Here's Perkins. falling away. Over to Sousa, no. Williams.
And that's the problem without Duval in the game. Somebody has to come back and call for the ball.
IMG tossing it out again. The turnovers piling up. Greensboro Day up by 8 with 3:49 remaining here in the quarterfinals.
The 2017 Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And Gatorade, the proven sports fuel.
The Masters, April 6th and 7th on ESPN.
Spurs Thunder, Rockets Warriors on ESPN.
Tomorrow night on ESPN2, the women's Final Four from Dallas. First semifinal at 7:30 Eastern, Stanford and South Carolina. Then it's Connecticut and Mississippi State. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN as well. Back here at Christ the King High School in New York City. Quarterfinals of the Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals. The 7-seed Greensboro Day from North Carolina up by 8 over the 2-seed IMG Academy. 3:49 left. Trayvon Duval, one of 5 McDonald's All-Americans in this 8-team tournament. Played last night in Chicago, got up early, took the flight to New York. 14 points, but none since halftime for Duval.
Looks a little tired right now, but getting a rest on the bench with 3:45 to go. His team is down 8. Don't expect him to be there very long.
1 personal fouls for Duval. 8-point lead for Greensboro Day.
IMG in a 2-3 zone with some trapping.
Couldn't stick it. Segway, the long rebound. Winner will take on Montverde Academy in the semifinals tomorrow afternoon on ESPN2. Jordan Perkins reaching in. That's 4 now on Greensboro Day's point guard.
And for Perkins, that was just foolish. The guy went by you. Then you reach around, you wrap around, and slap him from behind. You leave the official no choice.
IMG has struggled at the line all day. 5 of 13 as a team. Front end of the 1-and-1 throw. Segway, that's off. And out to Greensboro Day. Buddy Johnson's team, 3 minutes and 16 seconds away from their first ever win at the Dick's Nationals. Lost in the quarterfinal round 2 years ago to Montverde. Would be a rematch 2 years later if they hang on against IMG.
Either way for Montverde, it's going to be a rematch.
Yes, it is.
Whether it's IMG or Greensboro Day.
Rematch from this season if it's IMG. Perkins canning the three-pointer. It's an 11-point lead with under 3 minutes to go.
But you made up for that foolish foul, young man, with that 3. Timing couldn't be better.
Williams missing from the baseline. Perkins the rebound. And Fabian Real commits the foul with 2:42 to go. Trayvon Duval re-enters for IMG, the number 4 player in the ESPN 100.
Right now, IMG needs to stop. Put the ball in Duval's hands. He'll get to the basket quickly, or he'll make the play for the assist. No time to waste right now, Ted. 2.5. You either advance or go home from the Dick's Nationals.
Greensboro Day can take its time. Perkins loading up for another 3. Give it to him! The senior headed to North Carolina Central, leading Greensboro Day in this second half. 11 of his 13 points after the break. And an offensive foul at the other end. Trayvon Duval is gone. His 5th.
Well, this is not the way Trayvon Duval wanted to end it at IMG. Played a good first half, had 14 points. Third quarter, he had 2 assists, no points. Just couldn't get over the hump in the fourth quarter, but there's the drive. The defense has been there all afternoon by Greensboro Day. That's the way they play defense, and you have to know Jump stop, kick it out. That's something he has to work on as he moves forward in the game.
There's John Newman for Greensboro Day. Final 2 minutes here in the quarterfinal round. Dillard blocked by Emmett Williams. Can IMG muster any life without their leader, Duval? Offensive foul here. Real leaving his feet. And once again, Greensboro Day takes the charge.
Solomon Smith just waiting on it. IMG just refuses to jump stop or go around the defense. When that defender is still, solid, and in place, you have to adjust as the offensive player.
We've played just over 6 minutes in this fourth quarter. IMG, with Vince Walden as their head coach, has managed only 2 points in this final period. Take a look at our game track, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Greensboro Day on a 12-0 run. J.P. Mormon leading the Bengals early. All 11 of his points in the first half. Jordan Perkins coming alive in the second half. 11 of his 13 after the break to go with 8 rebounds and 4 assists. And Trayvon Duval fouling out 14 points, all in the first half. Jumping off the plane from Chicago after playing in the McDonald's All-American game last night.
All he can do right now is cheer on his teammates and hope they can pull out a miracle.
Stellar career for Duval. This is his 3rd school in 3 years. Went from API in Dallas, St. Benedict's, up here in this area in New Jersey, and finishing up at IMG in Florida to face the best competition. But it could very well end here in the quarterfinal round, as Vince Walden will now turn this into a free throw shooting contest. J.P. Mormon will head to the line for Greensboro Day.
And that's the right idea if you're IMG. Not enough time right now to press and trap. You just got to foul, stop the clock. Hope they miss free throws or split free throws and then push it.
While IMG has been 5 of 14 as a team from the line, Greensboro Day has made their free throws 10 of 11. Make it 11 of 12.
Now this is a very impressive program, Greensboro Day. They beat you with their defense. They score enough points offensively. It's a balanced scoring attack. They had IMG scouted really well, and they executed their game plan this afternoon.
You set it up as David versus Goliath in the early going. The slingshot has found its mark for Greensboro Day and David. They have their largest lead, a 14-0 run by the Bengals. And now foul with 1:33 to go.
They're like the South Carolina Gamecocks in the Final Four. Great defensively. They have just enough offense.
Talking with Freddie Johnson last week, Greensboro Day's head coach. His team drew a lot of confidence from beating Wheeler High School, team we saw in the Geico ESPN High School Showcase earlier this season from suburban Atlanta. Held Wheeler to 36 points. And it's the same score here for IMG Academy. Wheeler with all the ESPN-ranked prospects, IMG too, and Greensboro Day running away with it in this fourth quarter.
IMG tied this game up at 33, but they never took the lead in this game. Come out strong in the second half, but they didn't continue on what they built in the first 4 minutes of the second half. And Greensboro Day just took it right to them.
Well, for Vince Walden and IMG, this is the next step for their program. Making it to Dick's Nationals for the first time. That was the goal all season. And that dream became a reality, going 26-1. 6 victories over teams either currently in the USA Today top 25 or teams that were in the top 25 at some point this season. But Greensboro Day with the legend on the sideline, 40-year head coach Freddie Johnson devising a plan. The Bengals executing to perfection. And they're up by double figures here in the final 123.
I thought what Freddie Johnson and Jeff Smith told us yesterday, was spot on. We have to take short-range jump shots against IMG. We're not going to score at the rim, and we can't beat them with the three-point shot. They had a lot of two-point mid-range jumpers in this game. They created those shots, and they made those shots.
J.P. Moorman made plenty of shots in the first half. Now making his free throws late. Headed to Temple.
Now that's a big coup for Fran Dunphy. J.P. Moorman can play that small forward spot. And certainly if you play small, he can play at the four.
IMG continues to foul with just over a minute to go. Well, you could choose a few player of the game, brought to you by Gatorade Recovery Bar. Jordan Perkins is the man, though, for Greensboro Day. 14 points, 8 rebounds, hit 3 three-pointers, but most important, Paul, he had 9 points in the fourth quarter.
Well, he broke the game open. That's what he did when IMG made their run. Greensboro Day had to respond, and Jordan Perkins, he responded big time. A lot of self-confidence that young man has. Stepped up, took that three-point shot, made it. Plays his summer basketball with Team Felton. You don't have to be a five-star player to impact the game. You just have to be a good player. Jordan Perkins, a very good player.
All in juice. He had the juice today. Segway the air ball over the top. 20-point game with 62 seconds remaining. And IMG Academy calls timeout. We take another look at the bracket here at Dick's Nationals in New York City. So you can pencil in Greensboro Day into the semifinals to meet Montverde Academy, which beat Shadow Mountain from Arizona earlier today. It'll be a rematch from the 2015 Dick's Nationals quarterfinals. Greensboro Day and Montverde. Finley Prep moving on with a win over the defending champion Oak Hill. And the Pilots will take on either the top seed La Lumiere or 8th seed Wasatch Academy.
Well, for Montverde, it's going to be a totally different game. Shadow Mountain wanted to play fast, press, a lot of steals. Greensboro Day is going to try to execute in the half court, keep Montverde on defense, and then get back defensively. They're going to have to play 5 against 1, and they're going to have to try to just stay even on the glass. Montverde, such a big team. They have the #1 sophomore in the nation, R.J. Barrett. And a whole host of guys, 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", across the front line.
Both teams emptying the bench here in the final minute. And Fowler hit that baseline jumper earlier, not this time.
Well, this is a statement win for Greensboro Day. I think they're the only ones, Ted, who really believe that they can win a game here at Dick's Nationals.
And you know what? Greensboro Day understands the reason that they're here is because, number one, Nathan Hale, the top-ranked team in the country, decided not to come here. Undefeated from Seattle. Michael Porter Jr., the top-ranked player in the ESPN 100. Memphis East not allowed to come by the Tennessee State Association, even though they are here watching Coach Penny Hardaway. So Greensboro Day earns the invitation, ranked 18th in the nation by USA Today. And they were fired up. They've taken advantage of this opportunity.
Other people's adversity became their opportunity. They were ready. They stepped up. They executed. And they pulled off a major upset here at Dick's Nationals.
Travel on Austin Inge. 32 seconds to go. IMG Academy, 3 points. 3 points in this fourth quarter. Just 1 of 11 from the floor as a team.
Well, I think that speaks volumes of the Bengals defense, but also IMG looked a little out of sync after the first 4 minutes of the second half. They were terrific then. And then it all went wrong.
Final 17 seconds.
David beats Goliath in this one.
And it wasn't even close. Last second bucket by Cason Pierce, a freshman. Three-pointer at the end, but Greensboro Day runs away with this one. The #7 seed knocking out IMG Academy. Greensboro Day with its first ever win At Dick's Nationals, they're on to the semifinals to take on the 3-seed Montverde.
They did it with the defense and a balanced attack on offense. They have another monster tomorrow in Montverde.
Greensboro Day outscored IMG 21-6 in the fourth quarter. The final score, Greensboro Day 59, IMG 40. One more quarterfinal to come, but coming up next, Sports Center U.
They all take the same lane in, but each arrives on his own path, playing for their own reasons, in their own ways. To prove number one is more than a ranking, to complete a career milestone, to rekindle the echoes, to return to winning form again. The storylines at the Masters, April 6th and 7th on ESPN.
Out west, there's an outlaw with a real quick trigger. A man in black who's a little too quiet. A rowdy crew of sharpshooters. And a desperado with a loco streak. This is the Wild, Wild Western Conference. Spurs Thunder, Rockets Warriors on ESPN, home of the Western Conference Finals.
Montverde in the semifinals. RJ